Good morning, everyone. Hello. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to come on here and celebrate the Lionsgate with you all, the 8-8 portal, and talk a little bit about how these energies are available to you at any time during the year. And hi, if you're just joining, we're talking about the Lionsgate energy. So how these energies are available to us at any time. So when we see something with a lot of like new age hype, it's easy to kind of want to jump on the bandwagon and think that it's like time sensitive, time limited. And while it's true that when we are in these galactic portals, we have more access, it's easier to access the information. But I want to remind you that this information, these waves are available to you at any point in the year. So hi, if you're just joining, you can type it in the chat and let me know what you notice or what you love about the Lionsgate portal. This is not something that, one person has access to and everyone else doesn't. This is an energy that is available to all of us. And I can just talk a little bit about the history of the Lionsgate and how it connects to our spiritual sun, Cyrus. So back in July, we opened this portal. It's all connected. And what it has to do with is the way that our sun lines up with our spiritual sun. And because of that, hi, if you're just joining, hi, everyone. I just want to send you lots of love if you're tapping in here. And type it in the chat. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling with these Lionsgate energies. So because of this, we want to look at Cancer. And I talked about this when we were in Cancer season, so I'm not going to talk about Cancer season. Cancer, the cusp of Cancer to Leo, and then mid-Leo. Where is your mid-Leo placements? Because that's where the Lionsgate lives in your chart. This is where it's activating your chart and what it has to share with you and what wants to come through you for the collective. So if you have this in a very prominent place in your chart, or you have lots of planets or placements here, then you have more of this Lionsgate energy. What is the Lionsgate energy? Well, it's all about the lion's heart. We don't get to the star Regalis until, I think it's 26 to 29 degrees is kind of like that activation point for Regalis, which is the lion's heart energy. But what we want to be aware of is this midpoint of Leo is the heat of Leo. It's really the culmination of all of this courage and all of this energy towards your shining, towards your connection with the sun. And since it also has to do with our spiritual sun, we have to recognize that I love how the sun is like popping up above here. However much you feel like you connect with the sun and have a relationship to the sun, in whatever way that looks like to you, also recognizing and understanding that there are more powerful sources of light that we have access to, if you can believe it or not, right? And so because of this, we want to be aware that our spiritual sun can be accessed energetically. And one of the ways that you can do this, I have a free activation in my profile. It's through my stories. So you can check that out. But like really understanding and knowing that we have sources to so much light, and we can activate these light sources. And what these light sources do is they activate and enliven different aspects of our DNA that might be dormant, that might have been forced to go to sleep because of the experience of being a human on planet Earth right now, the experience that our ancestors faced, like the different things, the mental slavery, the physical slavery, the things that our ancestors went through forced some of our DNA to go to sleep. And we have the potential, we have the ability to activate and enliven that DNA through connecting with our spiritual sun. So this is what the Lionsgate is all about. And to do that, we need courage. And so to understand what courage is really being with our heart's desires, our heart's desires for healing, for being seen, for being understood. A lot of the wounds associated with the heart have to do with betrayal, have to do with boundary inflictions, have to do with heartbreak, have to do with grief. And so it's at this time that we really want to go in and be with those pieces of ourselves and have compassion for those pieces of ourselves so that we can be in this higher state of our higher aspects of our DNA, right? If we're just stuck in grief and we're just stuck in sadness, we're going to be protecting our heart, and that actually forces us to go into fear. That forces us to come out of our courage. So we think that courage looks a certain way. We're told that courage looks a certain way from movies and different things. Hi, if you're just joining. But what courage actually looks like is speaking what's on our heart, being in alignment with what's in our heart, showing our hearts. And that requires the utmost courage. And for many of us, we've been conditioned to believe that that's weakness. So if that's you, if that's what you've been conditioned to believe, I really want you to check out, in my profile link, I have a 3-part feminine healing journey that I take you through. And it really helps you to really kind of be in a deeper understanding of what true alignment with our feminine looks like and true healing of our feminine looks like. And it looks very different than how you might think it to look like, right? Because it's an embodiment. So that's something that you can tap into. I do have a flash sale happening today. It's just for today. If you've been wanting to schedule an astrology reading with me, I keep telling people, they keep reaching out, and I'm like, I don't really do readings anymore. I do more astrology coaching, embodiment coaching by looking at your astrology. It's a 2-hour session that we typically schedule, but I opened up for today and today only astrology readings. So they are $222, and you get to sit down with me on a Zoom. It's recorded, internet God's willing, and it's a 45-minute back and forth session with me. It's something that you will not find throughout the year. If you're wanting to book a astrology reading with me, this is the day to do it. It can be booked out from anywhere from, they start 2 weeks from now going to 8 weeks from now. So if you've been wanting an astrology reading with me, this is the time to do it. As a triple Leo, this is my time that I can really access those higher light codes to come through. So it's a really great time to book with me. Another way to work with me is to get into feminine leadership. That is a group program. It starts August 26th. We go for 3 months. We go through all the archetypes and all the astrology in your chart, and showing you where these feminine archetypes live within you by looking at your astrology, so that you can access more of your feminine power, more of your feminine leadership from a healthy, grounded, nourishing place. So if that's something that speaks to you, you know that you're being called into higher leadership, higher service, this is the place to be. So those are my offerings. If you're interested in any of those, but you can't find the link, just message me. But the link for feminine leadership is in my profile, and the link to get the reading from me today or book it today is in my story. If you're not already on my mailing list, you also get these updates in my mailing list. So, okay, I wanted to go into a little bit of the pieces of the Lion's Gate for those of you that popped in and didn't hear the beginning part of this. So different things are available to us during this time frame. It's not just a one day or a one moment and you're going to miss it thing. But during this time, 8/8 to 8/18, I believe is kind of this Lion's Gate portal. And it has to do with the heart of the lion and what courage really looks like, what courage really feels like, the courage to heal, the courage to show yourself, the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to go after what you want, and trusting that your desires are holy, that your desires are there for a reason. Your desires are not lustful or greedy, that they're there for a reason. And the way we can go about those can be lustful and greedy. But as long as we're in service to higher source and mission, it's all good. So that's kind of the energy. Now, because it has to do with this dormant DNA, you might have very vivid dreams. You might notice sudden ahas coming online. This is especially true because we have Uranus and Taurus conjunct the North Node and Mars right now. So it's really highlighting those sudden ahas, sudden like, oh my gosh, how did I not see it this way before? I often talk about how I do this, like, I really like doing these word puzzles where you find the word. And I'm sure you've had this experience before where once you you're like, I don't see a word, I don't see a word. And once you see a word, you can't unsee it. You can't understand how you didn't see it before. And this is very much what it's like to work with me and to do this. The wind's really kicking up. I'm going to wrap up in a minute. But basically, to do this work is to have access to that higher information. But that is naturally available to you now. Tapping into meditation, tapping into nature, getting outside, and really being with the piece of Leo that nobody talks about, which is divine surrender. We have to surrender. We have to lay down our armor. We have to lay down our sword and really be in the energy of receptivity and receiving the solar energy and living that solar energy. So this is the higher aspect of Leo, is leadership through service, leadership through love, leadership through highest good, through this solar sun, this spiritual sun. So if you're feeling that today, definitely do some journaling. Yes. Tap into your intuition. Thank you for being here, Martha and Anastasia. I can't see who's still here, but thank you for being here, and hello to you all. Happy Lionsgate. There's other things that I might have forgotten to mention, so I made a reel, and I have a lot of those things in the reel, and I'll try to type some of this into the caption because there's a lot of distractions here with the wind and just being live. So I hope you all have a beautiful day. Of course, this is a very special day. I love the number 8, as you can see. It also has to do with infinity. And so, we just keep coming here until we figure it out. And so there is no running out of time. There is only now. And so if something feels aligned to you now, step into it, trust it, honor it. This is part of your path. Yes, this is all of our season. So wherever Leo is in your chart, you have access to this information. You have access to this courage. You have access to this divine service, this leadership. So feel into that today. Journal about what leadership looks like to you, what it feels like to you, what you'd like to see more in the world of leadership. Look at our quote unquote world leaders right now. We are in a serious lack of leadership. And this is what feminine leadership is all about, is we need to find a new way. We need to find new leaders. And how do we find new leaders? Well, we step into our own leadership to trust ourselves, to know who is someone that we can trust as a leader. Because if we don't trust ourselves, there's no way we can trust others, right? So it's all connected, micro to macro. I love you all. Take good care of yourselves today, and definitely check out my story for more opportunities to work together.